What? Hello. Welcome to the Economic Challenge. We're going to give it a few seconds here for this digital campfire to get going. Good to see you. Welcome back. And if you can see and hear this okay, type in the comments, light it up. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I know that for some of you, this particular challenge video today is maybe the reason why you invested in this whole thing, so that you could get, there's the hammer, so that you could get some clarity and really just kind of get things moving. So today's all about money. It's about wealth. Those are two different things, and how to open the flow of that so that you can make your choices in your life not restricted by money. That sounds okay to you? Light up the likes, light up the comments, and we'll get things going. I have a feeling today's going to be a very popular topic. And I'm going to share with you some personal examples today of how I found this stuff. You know, how did I go from, I mean, I used to, I'll tell you the story. It'll be kind of entertaining. But I definitely had my own money stuff going on. And I got tired of it. I learned how to resolve it the same way that I learned how to resolve all these other things, same way that you're learning to resolve all of your stuff. And, upgrades happen. So I think that having money in our life actually just makes us more of who we are. Money is not good. Money is not bad. It just helps you multiply your choices. And if you like who you are, and if you love who you are, and if you are making choices that you feel good about, then having more money is going to allow you to make more choices. Simple as that. So a couple more seconds, we'll get it lit up. And I'll give you guys a quick view here. I'm in Austin, Texas, and it is so beautiful here. That's the river down there. And we're here at the Fairmont Hotel in Austin. Was just with Mike Kemsky last night. He drove down from Dallas, and always good to spend time with the hammer. So a couple more seconds, we're ready to go. What I would like to hear from you before we get into the training and before we get into the actual assignments and your challenge, what I'd love to hear from you is this: can you describe how you feel about money, or describe money, if you will? Can you describe money? What is money? Can you start typing in the comments and we'll get things going? So good to see everybody here. You're in the right place. But please type in the comments, what is money? What is money? By the way, you're going to love some of the challenges that we're going to give you today. These are going to be a little controversial. A little bit controversial. All right. So type in the comments, what is money? What is money? Okay, we've got answers like it's a commodity, it's a resource. Scott says, money is a resource that gives you options. And in terms of some of your feelings around money, we've got comments like, I'm afraid of never having enough. I love money and money loves me. That's right. Money is a useful tool. Another one, there's always enough money. And then also unsure, not feeling much about it. Yep. Okay, how about this? Money is energy, and it takes on the energy you give it. Yeah. And so, if money has all these different thoughts around it, if money has all these different thoughts, excuse me, and if there are so many different ways to think about it, what's the right way? Is there a right way to think about money? Is there a wrong way to think about money? Or maybe there's a way that's right for you and a way that's not right for you. And the way that many people experience money is as a necessary evil. Many people experience money as a necessary evil. But just let's think about this for a moment. If you believe that something is a necessary evil, what is your relationship to that thing going to be? You know, it's like in order to live, you need to breathe. But what if every time you breathed, you had to breathe in a gas that was a little poisonous for you? You know, it might affect how you breathed. You might just breathe a little bit, just enough to survive. But you wouldn't take these deep breaths, right? So if money is a necessary evil, if people have a love-hate relationship with money, do you think that that can possibly affect how much of it is flowing in your life? And so what we're going to do in today's class, what we're going to do in today's session is get more clear about how money works in your life and how to change your relationship with money so that when you are thinking about money and when you are receiving money and when you are letting money go, all of that is done in a way that is in alignment with your values. You know, it is absolutely possible to earn money that doesn't feel good to you while you earn it, but that doesn't mean that money isn't good. There may be ways to earn money that drain your energy, but that doesn't mean that money has to drain your energy. Does this make sense? There are ways, infinite ways, of having money flow into your life in amounts that literally shock you. And the money flows in a way that feels right for you, in a way that only creates a deeper sense of authenticity, of integrity, so that the more money that comes in, the more you feel like you. What if every piece of money, every dollar, every pound, every euro, every Deutschmark, every yen, renminbi, any form of currency, any money that flowed into your life, what if every piece of currency, every bit of money that came to you meant that you were even more in integrity with your values? What if every check, every payment, every remit, every sum that you received was a reflection of some deeper integrity and deeper authenticity? So how would that feel? Let's just entertain that thought for a moment and then we'll kick off our lecture. It looks like we got a very full house today. Good to see you. But just type in the comments, how would that feel if every dollar, every sum that flowed into your account meant that you were even deeper in integrity, deeper in authenticity, that you were even more fully being the you that you are here to be? How does that feel for you? If you think about that concept, it would feel empowering, it would feel amazing, freeing, yeah. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What if, hang in there, this may sound shocking, but what if you never had to work for money ever again? I'm going to just let that sink in for you for a moment. What if you never had to work for money another day in your life? What if money came to you just because you were being yourself? What if money came to you just because you were being the real you? How does that feel? Type in the comments. What if money came to you and you didn't have to work? And by work, I mean it the way that most people think about work. This may not be you. But when people talk about work and they go, work, like that, work. That's not what we're talking about. But if the money could flow to you for you just being yourself, how would that feel? And imagine if you woke up every morning and you looked in your bank account. You open up your banking app maybe, and you realize that you actually had more money in your account than you did when you went to sleep. Can you hold that thought? Can you just imagine, just play with this imagination, just play the game here. Can you imagine what it would feel like to wake up in the morning and have more money than when you went to sleep? Can you entertain that thought? And just notice how that feels. And if you feel like sharing in the comments, what would that feel like? So here's my invitation for you. What if the amount of money that is in your life right now is a perfect reflection of how you've been thinking about money up until now? Let me say that again. What if right now the amount of money that's in your life, what if that amount is the perfect reflection of what you've been thinking and been feeling so far about money? Just let that sink in for a moment. What if the amount that you're earning, the money that you've brought into your life, that you've attracted, that you've earned, that you've created, what if that amount that's in your life right now is simply mirroring all of your feelings, all of your thoughts, but not your thoughts for your whole life? What if it's only the thoughts that you've been thinking for the last few weeks? What if the money that's in your life right now is the perfect mirror of what your last 30 days of thinking and feeling has been? Would that change how you think and feel about money today, knowing that you're creating a future reality? So I got one more question for you. And then we'll get down to some tactics. What is a belief? What is a belief? A belief is nothing more and nothing less than a thought that you just keep thinking. A belief is simply a thought that you have been thinking enough for that thought to generate a little bit of its own momentum. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create your behaviors. By changing your thoughts, one thought at a time, you will change your feelings inevitably. And then the actions that you take arise naturally out of that feeling. And so, just in this session so far, in the last couple of minutes, you may have thought more about money from a positive place, a place of appreciation, a place of expectation. And right now is the only time that there is. And you're free. You are free to argue for whatever reality you want. If your thought is easier said than done, then yes, that will be your reality. If your thought is, I have a lifetime of poor programming, respectfully, that is a bunch of horse shit. You do not have a lifetime of programming. You have around 30 days of programming, 30 days of rolling manifestational output. What the heck is that? Well, it's the thoughts you've been thinking, the feelings that you've been experiencing, the actions that you've been taking only for the last couple of weeks. You can't see anything else farther than that. If you're on a ship and the ship is cruising through the ocean and you look back and you try and see the trail that the ship has left, you can only see the last few bits. You can only see the last few hundred yards, maybe. And then what? The water settles and the trail is gone. You have no past other than the story that you keep telling over and over and over and over again. And when you tell the story of what is, because you look at yesterday's creation, which is showing up today, and you look at today, which is really the residue of your past thought, the residue of your past feeling, the result of your past action, and then you look at the reality and you go, oh, I knew it. I knew it. And the spell is cast again. And you practice one more day of telling the old story because of this addiction to reality. But all reality begins as a thought first. The thought that you think consistently becomes a feeling. The feelings that you practice consistently, and all feelings are a pattern. All feelings are a practice. The feelings that you practice consistently generate options in your behavior. And then the results that occur because of your thoughts and your feelings and your action, that result we then look at, and many people go, I knew it. And in doing so, the spell is cast again. So there is no lifetime of programming. There is no lifetime. There's only now. There's only now. And so the way that you are thinking about life and the way you're thinking about money right now is what's determining your trend. This is what's determining your trajectory. What direction are you headed? And every subject is two subjects. Is the appreciation of a subject and is the criticism of a subject. Giving attention to something's positive aspects or giving attention to its negative aspects. And so when people say, I think about money all the time, in the meantime, they see someone who has more and they go, that dirty bastard. Well, yes, you're thinking about money and you're thinking about money in a resistant way because of somebody else. Whatever you're practicing consistently becomes your reality. And the reason we opened up this particular session by just talking about money in a free and playful way is because that changes your feeling around money. And I'm just going to tell you this. There is as much money for you as you can imagine yourself receiving. There is as much money for you as you can imagine yourself receiving. Notice how that feels. Saying, I want something, and then in the same breath, saying how hard it is to get. These are contradictory practices. Imagine going to a friend of yours and saying, I love you. Like, you're my friend, I just love you. And I love you. I love you. And your breath stinks. And your taste in music is terrible. And I can only think about you with happiness for a few minutes. But I love you. But I love you. But I hate you. But I love you. But I hate you. What are the chances that that friend is going to greet you with open arms every time? When you love somebody, when you have a friend who you appreciate, you just say, I love you. And then the stuff that is there that maybe you don't like, you just kind of don't pay attention to it, or it just doesn't matter because you just love this person. And you realize, get over yourself. It's not a big deal. What if money's the same way? What if you can ease yourself into a practice of actively appreciating the role of money in your life? Not glorifying it, not putting it up on a pedestal, not making it more important than it is. Just seeing it for what it is. An emotionless resource. Energy doesn't have any money, or money doesn't have any energy. It doesn't have any energy at all. We have energy around money. So if you want to have different money flow in your life, you change your feeling about it and it changes. So let's cut the BS of saying, when I have more money, then I'll feel better about it. Bullshit. That's total bullshit. The way you feel about money is what's determining its flow in your life. I want money, but I have to go to work and do things I hate. Okay. So it shall be done unto you. The actions are a natural part. Just like eating a good meal is a natural part of the process. There's the ingredients, the preparation, the anticipation, the presentation. Then that first bite. Wow. And then you chew the food and it tastes good. And then you bring it into your body. That's all part of the experience. So there's action involved, for sure. There's action involved. But why would you not take the action? Why would you not take the action when the action is such a delicious part of the whole thing? So the feeling that you have, not only about money, but then the feeling that you allow yourself to have about the actions that involve money. There is no downside to this. There doesn't need to be. And so we're going to talk about for the rest of this session is changing your feeling around money, changing your actions around money so that there's no resistance. There's just doing things that you love to do, doing things that you get to do. Money by itself has no frequency. We have frequency around it. And things like credit cards and the lottery, that's actually not a part of my personal reality. Quite candidly, I think the lottery is a stupid tax. And I didn't make that up. I don't remember where I heard it, but I thought that makes so much sense. Because most people playing the lottery do so from a place of lack. You know, they do so from a place of not having enough. And so they're hoping that they can feel enough lack to then receive money. Very, very rarely does it work that way. And even the people that do win the lottery, if you look at the study of everybody that's won the lottery, they have all this money coming into their life that they're not used to. They haven't normalized it. They don't understand it. They just don't get it. And so they get all this money, and immediately, that's like putting somebody under a weight bench who's not used to lifting weights. You lift the weight up, and then you're like, all right, ready? And you let go, and they get crushed under the weight. Now, you can blame the money, or you can say that person just doesn't have the level of fitness. They just don't have the level of normalcy. And so they're not used to it. You know, if you and I have never driven a car before, and all we've done is walk around, we've never driven a car, and all of a sudden you blink and you've been transported behind the wheel of a race car going 200 miles an hour. You're going to crash the car because you don't know how to drive it. Pretty simple. So I'm not saying don't play the lottery. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But it's so much more fun to normalize your own experience and to enjoy the feeling of more coming in. And instead of rushing to try and get somewhere that you're not, you just enjoy where you are and watch as where you are expands. The only reason that you want to go from 0 to 200 is because you think that at 200 you'll be where you want to be. But what you want is the feeling. You want the ease, the flow, the control. You want the feeling of freedom. That's what you want, so let's start there. Is this all making sense for you guys so far? We doing okay? All right. So, my dear challengers, do you see the connection between how you think about something, how you feel about it, and then how it continues to show up? Do you see the connection? Money by itself does not have its own energy. We have energy around money. So if you'd like to have more money flowing into your life, you consistently change the way you feel about it. And as you consistently change the way you feel about money, you look at it differently. It doesn't seem like such a big deal anymore. It's just a natural, normal part of your life. And when you allow yourself to be in that place of active appreciation, when you allow yourself to feel that place of fullness and rightness with where you are, then the thoughts and the feelings and the actions that lead to more of that simply show up. Most wealth training, in some cases, is actually a poverty training because it makes money more important than people. And anytime we make money more important than people or ourselves, then you sort of become a slave to it. Money is simply a resource. Money is simply a resource. So I get it. Like, you have bills to pay, you've got things to take care of. My challenge to you is to give a little bit more energy towards what's coming, to the thoughts that you have access to the feelings that you have access to, the actions that you can take, and then look at the progress that you're making. As you see the progress you're making in paying your bills, paying down your debt, that progress creates confidence. That confidence leads to more and more and more. So we're already into some of the how, but let's get into some actual some tactics for you. By the way, if you do nothing else except invest a little time every day in actively appreciating your own ability to change the way you feel. Let me say that again. If you do nothing else but spend a little more time every day in appreciating your own ability to change the way you feel, and then start shifting into a place of appreciation. If you do nothing else, you will see your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior around money begin to shift. You'll find yourself saying things like, you know, I've actually made plenty of money in my entire life. And while I may not always have felt like I had enough, the truth is, I've actually always had the amount that I needed at the moment. And there are things that I would now like to improve. When we feel ourselves in that shifted state of active appreciation, then then more of it has to come. More of it has to happen. This is just how it works. So here's your first challenge. Here's your first challenge. Please type the word normalize. Normalize into the comments. Normalize. Normalize. This is a one word. It's not two words. Not normal eyes. Normalize. One word. Normalize. There we go. All right. So as you're typing that word normalize, what does that mean to you? Can somebody type a description of what that word means, to normalize? What does it mean to normalize something? Got any thoughts there? Any ideas? What does it mean to normalize? Well, what it means is to make something normal. It's that easy. To make something normal, where it becomes natural. Mike, great description there. Reaching an emotional homeostasis with something, yes. Yes, Miriam says where it becomes every day. Doesn't mean that it's not important. Doesn't mean that you don't appreciate it. It just means that you're not terribly surprised by it. Yes, creating a habit. All habits feel normal. It still has value. It still has, you can have appreciation. You're just not shocked by it. You're just not shocked by it. In fact, when you hear somebody who is in the flow of money and they have a record day or they have a record month, you won't hear them saying, "Oh my God, you'll never guess what happened. The most astonishing thing occurred." No, because when somebody's in the flow, they expect it. They just expect it. They're not shocked when it happens. They go, yeah, I expected that to happen. There is an appreciation. There can be sense of playfulness, like, yeah, now that we have this, now we can do this. Cool. And you can be delighted with it. You can go, yeah. But there's no shock. So when you normalize having a little more money in your life, you can normalize having a lot more money in your life. So having more money flowing in and just being easy about it, being relaxed about it, changes everything. Changes everything. So here we go. This is going to be a very basic exercise. Some of you have already done this, and if so, this will be a nice reminder. And this is not to make money more important than it needs to be. Money is simply a resource. And you don't need to type this in the comments, but I do want you to answer it for yourself. How much money do you have on you at any given time? How much money do you have on you at any given time? And on any given day, as you're walking down the street, how much money do you have on you? And I'm not talking about a debit card or certainly not talking about a credit card. I'm talking about cash. And you don't need to type the comments. If you want to, that's fine too. But we're talking cash money because cash does have a somewhat emotional component to it. And so part of the reason why many people don't carry cash is because they're afraid of losing it. Boom! Hold on. Let's go back and hear that again. Many people don't carry cash. I'm not saying this is you, but some people don't carry cash because they're afraid of losing it. If you're afraid of losing something, have you normalized it? If you don't carry cash, I appreciate this comment here. If you don't carry cash because you wind up spending it, this is going to be very valuable for you. Now, some legacy members, you already know where we're going with this. Hang in there. If the way that you feel about money is what's determining the amount that's flowing in your experience, then which makes more sense? Should we go and get a bunch of money and then we can change the way we feel? Or can we adjust our frequency, our feeling around money to then open up to have more of it? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of the fear and we're going to slip into a natural state of abundance. We're not going to glorify money, but we're also not going to demonize it. And so your challenge is to have on you a money magnet. A money magnet. And what is a money magnet? Well, what is a magnet? What a magnet does is it attracts things that are attracted to it. And so a money magnet is having an amount of money on you that you can feel. You can feel it. Now, if you have $1, maybe you don't feel that. If you have $20, maybe you feel it, maybe you don't feel it. If you're used to having money on you and then you spend it, then that's your normal. And you can see that pattern repeated in your life. But what we're talking about here is having an amount of money on you that you can feel. An amount of money that you can feel. So I don't know what that amount is for you. For some people, it's $10. For some people, it's 100. For some people, it's 1,000. There's no right or wrong number. The point here, the value of this exercise is in having an amount on you that you can feel. So that when you feel it, your brain immediately says, we got it. Instead of feeling lack, you feel presence. You feel abundance. So it's not about the amount. It's about the feeling. And so in your journal, you don't need to type this in the comments, but in your journal, what's the number that comes to mind that you would feel? If you had that amount in your pocket right now, what's the amount that for you might be a little bit of a, I'm going to use a very technical term here. What would be a holy shit number? What would be the number that if you had it on you would be a, whoa? Write that amount in your journal. And by having the money on you, you are recognizing yourself as the source of wealth, not your bank, not some credit card, not a job. You are the source of your wealth because you are the thinker of your thoughts. You are the only source of your wealth because you are the only one feeling your feelings about money. So what is the amount that would feel big enough for you to feel? And I would suggest to you that it's really easy. It's a number bigger than you normally carry. If you're used to carrying around $20, $30, $40, $50, then maybe putting 100 would be the amount that you could feel. If you're used to carrying 100, maybe it's having 1,000. And maybe it's having 200. The point here is that there's not a right or wrong number. What I'm challenging you to do here is to normalize having money. To normalize having money so that when you have more money on you, it just stops feeling like a big deal. Now, if you need $2 million in order to feel it, that's a unique perspective. But I'm going to imagine that if you simply carry more than you normally carry, that this by itself will do the trick. Because what's the purpose here? The purpose of this whole challenge is to normalize your feeling around money so that when you think about money, you feel ease. When you think about money, you feel expectation. When you think about money, you think about plenty. When you think about money, you think about certainty. When you think about money, you think about freedom. When you think about money, you think about experiences. When you think about money, you feel a sense of, when you think about money, you feel the flow of always having it come in so that you can have more, give more, have more, spend more, have more, invest more, have more, have more. Carrying the money on you so that you are feeling it, you're being aware of it, so that you normalize this. And as you go through your day, mentally looking at something and thinking, you know, I could buy that. I could buy that. I could buy that. I could buy that. I could buy 10 of those. I could have dinner there. I could take 3 friends to dinner there. I could rent that car for an entire day. As you go through your day, shifting your thoughts and shifting your feeling around money, more of it will begin to flow. Not just the money, but you'll have ideas about how to get more. You'll have ideas about how to serve differently. You'll have ideas that feel different. And then you notice that, wow, I'm actually having different feelings around money. Where I used to feel constricted and stressed, I now feel kind of some ease and flow. Wow, I just like the way this feels. And that's all you need to do. Change the way you feel. Why? Because when you change the way you feel, what you do changes automatically. What you do changes automatically once you change the way you feel. So this is level 1. Get yourself a money magnet. What's the amount that you're going to get? Type it or write it in your journal. You don't need to share in the comments. But as soon as possible, today would be a great day. Get yourself a money magnet and have that money magnet on you at all times. Do you need to sleep with it? I'll leave that up to you. What's the amount? Enough for you to feel, so that you can normalize that. Now, I recognize that if you are in a place where the money that you have is already spoken for, then you have your work cut out for you. Begin to build your money magnet. And if you need to start with $1 and you take that dollar and you know that's my money magnet, my goal is to turn that into 2. And then you add $1 and you go, hey, I just doubled my money magnet. It doesn't matter where you are. You're starting and moving forward. Does this make sense? Level 1 challenge? All right, so who's in? Who's going to get themselves a money magnet? By a show of digital hands. Cash money on your person. And it doesn't matter if you start with a dime. You start with 1 and you make that your money magnet. And instead of treating it as not enough, you look at it as a seed. And you think, from a tiny acorn grows the mighty oak. This becomes my money magnet. And pretty soon, this little dime is going to have a friend. And pretty soon, we're going to have a whole new pair of dimes. Maybe some of you got that. Pretty soon, you're going to have a whole new pair of dimes. So it doesn't matter what you start with. Just start. Good to go? Got it? Okay. What is coming next is going to be a little controversial. Many of you may have never done this before. So here, we're going to look at one of the resistances, one of the challenges that keeps people away from having money. And by the way, this was a big thing for me for years, actually. When I wasn't in the flow of money, it was because of this thing that I'm about to share with you, and then I'll see if it resonates with you. I had such a fear of loss. I was so afraid of losing. I was so afraid of losing money that I figured it would be better just not to make any, because if I don't make any, then I don't have to lose it. Doesn't make much sense if you think about it, but who says that feelings have to be logical? And so I was in a place where I just didn't have money. I was riding the bus, which cost about $1. I was living at home when I was 22, 23 years old. Now, I moved out when I was 17. I got my own apartment, and that was fine. And I was homeschooled, so when you move out, that's when you graduate homeschool. But I went back for my master's in homeschooling by moving back home when I was 22. And just money wasn't flowing. In fact, when I thought about money, it brought me pain because I wanted it and didn't have any. Now, let me ask you, with everything that you know, everything we've talked about, everything that you know about money, here's this guy, me, 22, 23 years old, thinking about money and feeling bad. Then looking at the amount of money I have and feeling bad about money, and then not having any. Do you see the cycle? I would wake up in the morning, have things that I wanted to do, but couldn't because I didn't have the money. Justifying to myself, money's not that important. I'm more spiritual. Excuse me, you're on this planet for the purpose of the expansion of your desires. You are here to exercise your free will choice. You are here to experience as many things as this planet can offer. You are here to feel the fullness of your desires and the expression of those desires. Money is a useful way of expressing those desires. Money is a choice multiplier. It's not good, it's not bad, it's emotionally neutral. We're the ones that give emotion to it. So in that sense, I would say money is actually very spiritual, or at least can be used for the expansion of your soul. Doesn't have any energy by itself. But when I was 22, 23 years old and I was judging money because I didn't have any, and I felt bad that I didn't have any, I was so afraid of losing it. Money had power over me because that's what I gave it. One day it hit me. I gotta get over this shit. I've got to get over this fear of losing money. I've got to get over this fear of not having enough. And it's the fear of not having enough. The fear of losing it because it's so valuable. Then I realized, first of all, it's not any more valuable than we all agree. It's not valuable by itself. It's what I do with it that makes it valuable. Then I realized, how can I be afraid of losing something that is actually pretty abundant? How can I be afraid of losing something that I know I can go and get more of? Then things started to shift. I started to realize that the only reason I'm afraid of losing money is because I'm not allowing myself to be in the flow. I'm actually avoiding situations where I can go and make more. And then I realized what a contradiction this is. You know what? At that time, teaching martial arts, if I go and teach another 2 or 3 students, I'll go and make another $75 at that time. I'll go and make an extra $75. So is there a shortage of people that I can help? No, only a shortage of ambition on my part. And then I started laughing. I was literally on the bus thinking these thoughts, wondering, why am I not driving a car when I could go and teach so many more people? Why am I not serving more people when I love to teach, but I'm holding myself back, all because I'm not willing to allow myself to receive this thing called money? Because I'm afraid of losing it? What a bunch of bullshit. So I thought, all right, I've got to kill my fear of losing money. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something to shock my system here. I'm going to do something to prove to myself that any money that I lose can easily be replenished. And then the plan was formed. And here's level 2 of your money challenge. What I did is I took an amount of money that for me was not a big deal. I think it was like $10. But I knew that I had to do something to break out of this fear. I was giving money so much power than it actually was. And in that sense, I was a slave to money. Money was controlling me instead of me controlling it. Money was guiding me instead of me guiding it to make choices that allowed me to have more and give more and do more. I thought, I have to end this. You ever heard the saying that, if you love something, set it free? If it comes back to you, that it's yours forever. If it doesn't come back to you, then it was never yours to begin with. So I decided to test this for myself. I took that $10 bill and I went out back as soon as I got home. And I went out in the backyard. And I took that $10 bill and I just looked at it and I realized this thing actually has no value other than the value that I give it. And I said to this piece of paper, you have no power over me. And then I said, you have a lot of friends. And if you go away, more of you can come back. And many of you already know what happened next. I took a match and I set that $10 bill on fire. And as that piece of paper burned, I felt my fear of loss burning away with it. I felt the control that money had over me disappearing. I actually felt my heart opening. I actually felt a release of energy. And I knew from that day forward that I had access to a whole new set of feelings around money, because I'm not afraid of losing it. And as soon as I set that money on fire, I wasn't hiding behind the mask of contribution. Oh, I'm just going to give it to somebody else. No. It's not about giving it away. It's about ending the power that it has over you. And as I watched the flames eat away at the paper, I felt free. For the first time in my life, money had no power over me. I had set myself free. And what I did immediately after that was I got on the phone and I started calling my students. And I started telling them that I was now accepting referrals. So if there's anybody that they'd like to invite to bring to their next class so they can have a training partner, if that person enrolls, that I would give them a discount on their next payment. So who is one person that you'd like to invite with you to your next class? And I called my students. I ended up enrolling 4 new students in the next 3 days that far replaced the money that I had freed myself from. Because money's everywhere. All we have to do is go out and get it. And because money comes from other people, the way to get more money is to be of more service to other people. Now, I get it. If you're afraid to burn the money because you're afraid of losing it, cool. You're welcome to maintain that belief. If you're afraid of burning money because you think it will never come back, I would invite you to consider what that belief is actually costing you. For those of you that think it's wasteful to burn $1 or $10, I would invite you to look at how much could you be serving people? How many more people could you be impacting? How much more of a better job could you be doing to receive more money, but you're not? That's actually the money that you're losing. So you have 2 challenges. Number 1, get yourself a money magnet. If you already have a money magnet, get yourself a bigger one. Normalize it. Challenge level 2. Burn, baby, burn. Be smart about it. Be safe about it. And let us know in the comments or in the group. Let us know how your experience is. And we've got some great questions that I'm going to answer here. This will help to ease some of the resistance that you might have around money. Great question here from Saija. She says, what if you are not afraid of losing it, but you have a shame of earning more than others? Well, I used to have that same exact feeling, so I really appreciate that question. The way that I look at it is I'm very appreciative to have had good health most of my life. I've had a lot of injuries, and I've had, I've been sick a few times, but mostly injuries from training and competing and things like that. But I always healed quickly because I understand how to talk to my body, and I know how to give my body what it needs. My body always treats me the way that I treat it. So I always heal quickly. But I did used to have a little fear of, I didn't want to be a show-off because I could move faster than other people, or I could kick higher in martial arts, until I realized that actually the more I train and the stronger and the faster and the more agile I become, I'm actually helping others because then they see somebody who's an example. And I started laughing because I thought how stupid it would be for me to be a little more sick just so other people don't feel so bad. Or how silly it would be to be a little less healthy so that somehow other people could be more healthy. That is not how this universe works. You don't strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You don't help someone who's sick by becoming sick yourself, and you don't help someone who doesn't have money by having less yourself. I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys have. Other than that, you know exactly what your 2 challenges are. Get your money magnet and carry it with you every day, at least for the rest of the challenge. Level 2, burn, baby, burn. How much you burn really is up to you. I would suggest 20% of your money magnet amount. 20% of your money magnet. So if your money magnet is $10, burn $2. If your money magnet is 100, burn 20. If your money magnet is 1,000, burn 200. And you only have to do that one time. Great comment here, Mona. Mona says, what about helping others who want to borrow but never return? I would help them by being an example of having clear boundaries. When they say, hey, can I borrow the money? And you can say, actually, no, you can't. And they'll be like, yeah, but I really need it. You're like, well, your need doesn't equal my responsibility to help you. But what I'm happy to do is to show you how I made this so that you can have your own. And they say, you're being greedy. You say, well, you're 100% entitled to your belief. I appreciate you. You might even say, I love you. And I love you so much that I believe in your strength far more than I believe in your weakness. All right. Looks like you guys are all set. All right, good stuff, guys. You know, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of breakthrough around this and a lot of energy, and this wasn't part of the original challenge. In fact, I'm just kind of hearing this now, and our team will have to. There will be a little bit of adjusting, but here's my invitation to you guys. If we were to do a part 2 money challenge with some additional training, may or may not have another level 3 challenge, but if we were to do another video on money during this challenge, is that something that would be valuable for you guys? I don't want to overburden you. I mean, you've got a lot of things to watch already. But if there's enough interest, then maybe we can roll out a second video. Carry the money magnet with you at all times, and then burn only once. And you will use your money magnet by keeping it on you and mentally spending it everywhere you go, because that will normalize your feelings. If you do spend the money magnet, replace it immediately. All right. Awesome. So in the meantime, you've got you have your assignments. Your assignments are money magnet number 1, level 2, burn, baby, burn. Because you're just releasing the control that money might have had over you. And so changing the feelings that you have around money actually opens up ideas for how to get more of it. Let me say it again. As you change your feelings around money, you will see ways to get more of it. And so I just want to point something out that's happening, because I see a lot of your questions here like, yeah, but how do I get more? Stop focusing on how to get more when you're fucking ignoring the actual source of wealth, which is your own feelings around money. And I'm not making fun of anybody here. I used to do the same thing. I used to be like, yeah, but I feel like shit about it. So, what's some action I can take while I feel like shit? None of that's going to work. Change the way you feel first. Relax. Change the way you feel. And then you'll start to see yourself, and you'll start to see different ways of attracting more money. You'll have ideas. You'll have conversations all of these other things will come in. I promise you. You just got to take care of the inside first. Got to take care of you. Take care of your core. The how shows up, I promise you. And this is about loving people and using money, not the other way around. How's everybody feeling? You know, you live in a place of abundance. You live in a world. And everything you're doing is a practice. Everything you're doing is a practice. If you're feeling resistance, it's because you practice resistance. So stop it. Just stop practicing resistance. Start practicing appreciation. I promise you, if you just allow yourself to practice appreciation, you will feel more and you will have more to appreciate. This is an inside job. Nothing is being done to you. Everything is being done by you. You are the creator in your life. No one is thinking your thoughts for you. Nobody's feeling your feelings for you. And since nobody's thinking your thoughts and nobody is feeling your feelings, that means nobody is creating for you. You're the only one. And you have so much power. So much. So just allow yourself to feel it. And if you say, yeah, but how come I don't feel my power more? It's because you spend all your fucking time asking yourself why I don't feel my power more. Stop it. Accept the fact that you are fucking supernovas. You are a lighthouse. You are light and you are a lens for that light. So stop resisting your own brilliance and allow yourself to be the badass mother trucker that you actually are. Allow yourself to be the free-spirited soul that you incarnated in this physical form to be. Allow yourself to experience the fullness of your desires and the pumping of that beautiful heart of yours. And the thoughts that your brain magnetizes and expresses and radiates. Allow yourself to be the best, fullest, most bright, badass, beautiful version that you actually are. Just do that a little more. Just do that. Yeah, but see, when I was 6, stop it. To wrap it up here, let's get the velvet hammer in here. We'll give you guys a last couple minute push here. Stop it. Yeah, but sometimes I don't feel good. Well, stop it. Rawr.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, long time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I got the solar panels
Are
on.
we wearing shades today? Oh no. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Solar powered.
Solar powered. That's right. The awakened barbarian.
Yeah.
Man, really, really, this group is so powerful, man.
Dude, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm on a freaking thing here. Quit mowing the lawn. No. Yeah, dude, this has been an amazing training, and the questions and comments and the feeling and the transformation just within this training, people going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my, yeah. It's fucking awesome. Amazing people. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I I think that I don't want to even, I mean, like, you know, I don't have a big ego and don't need to hear me. I don't think I'm going to even contribute much to this right now. I think the energy it's perfect as it is, man.
Yeah.
I'll come in the group and reiterate some of these things with my own crazy antics and stories and stuff. But I think by going back into that with talking about some stuff with me, I think it will dirty where it's at. I think it's clean, man. So we leave it.
Yep. Yeah, this group is amazing, and today was everybody did great. I mean, there was great questions, a lot of ahas for everybody. And even though these two challenges are simple, you know, money magnet and releasing your fear of money and all that shit, even though it's so simple, the people that actually follow through and do it will actually give themselves some new history. And then as you change your history, you also change your future. And it's so simple.
Totally.
And you and I have both seen it. I mean, you know, you've run multi-million-dollar operations. We were just talking about that last night. You know, I've had businesses that have made millions. And so the thing is, once you get it, you don't need to keep doing it over and over and over any more than you need to keep practicing breathing, or you need to keep practicing growing a beard. Once you do it, you're like, oh, like this? Okay, cool. Then you just, but every day my beard is cut off. Well, stop shaving then. If you want a beard, stop shaving. If you want to be wealthy, stop acting like a broke little man. Like just stop whining and claim your own power and appreciate your own power. Anyway, we could keep riffing, but I'm just happy to see you, man.
Yeah, it's awesome always. There is one thing, like when the normalizing, I want to just hit on this real quick. That is so critically important. I mean, I think most of us in life have gone through this, especially people who've come from poverty and that kind of stuff, and the abusive life and all that shit that a lot of people have. But the normalizing of this is so critical. You know, I never thought I would make the kind of money that I've made, but I remember when I had my first 6-figure month. And I was like, I'm going to go treat myself to something. And I was just driving, and I pulled into a Bass Pro Shop. And I could buy anything in that store. I could buy any boat, any little buggy thing, whatever. And, oh, my God, really? I hope that's not too loud. Oh, and, dude, this is crazy. There's, like, hundreds of little baby bees. They're all around me. They're just, like, hovering all around me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, ADD moment. So the $100,000 month, I'm like, I'm going to treat myself. I mean, this is cool. It's a big achievement and all this, and I never did it before. So I go to Bass Pro Shops, and I'm looking around like I could buy whatever I want, anything in the store. And I ended up going, and I'm like, so fucking what? It instantly became like big deal, because the fact that I could have it now made it so I didn't even want it anymore. And it was the what I had to become to create that $100,000 a month. That was it. What you're talking about, the internal part, you know, your thoughts create your life, your feelings power that, and that whole thing. That's what this is about, and that's powerful. I ended up walking out of Bass Pro Shop with like 2 shirts and 2 hats, and I spent like $26. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I got them from like the clearance rack. Like, these shirts are badass. So it was like, you know, it's not. But then after that, I made $100,000 a month. I made $100,000 a month again. I'm like, huh. It wasn't like you said, it's not this cataclysmic fireworks show of like, whoa, oh my God. It's exactly a natural process of what is going to happen because of what you're doing. And it all starts with what you're talking about now. And that rapidly expands, man, rapidly expands. It's not from, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to talk, fuck, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but it's not from like, I'm not going to be sensitive about it. It's not from like writing out affirmations. Money flows easily and abundantly in my life, and I have money coming everywhere I come from, and I'm going to post a shit on Facebook and affirm it and all this kind of stuff when like in 3 days my electricity and my internet that I'm posting on is going to be shut off. It doesn't fucking, that's not, it's not real. You can't lie to yourself. That's not what it's about. It's like these affirmations and shit. They might trigger some things. They might help a little bit, but until you're doing the things that you're talking about, until you're actually actively participating in this thing, and you realize that money, like you said, has absolutely zero energy. It's all the stuff that we place on it, because how can it? It's not a natural part of, it's not a natural function of nature. But you are, and so you're the power. You're the technology. You're the resource. You are the power, not the money.
Yes.
Money can't have power. Like, it doesn't have frequency. Like this tree has a frequency. You know, it's a certain thing, but money doesn't. So what does that mean? It means that you have like this ungodly amount of power around the money thing. And when you get to that point where it's like, wait a minute, like you said, it doesn't control me anymore. It's all up here and it's all in here, and that's what it's about. And once you get that, it literally, like you said, it opens the floodgates.
Yes.
Opportunities, possibilities, people come to you. You become attractive.
Yes.
Is
And
basically
then
what happens.
and you begin to naturally take the actions that produce more money.
Automatically.
And it's automatic. And when I, in my early days of figuring this out, after I burned that $10, and then I started finding myself studying and training, and started doing things different, then all of a sudden I found myself taking action. And we talked about it a little last night. I ended up writing a letter to my past self that was basically like, hey, I know you're dealing with this. I know you're, kind of screwed over and blah, blah, blah. But I wrote it to my past self like 3 years earlier as a karate teacher. And then I took that letter and I basically sent it out to a whole bunch of people that I knew from tournaments and other school owners. And at the end of that offer, or at the end of the letter, it was basically like, hey, I used to be here, but now I'm not, because I figured these things out and I'm doing a training. I'd love to invite you to do it. And I had 20 people reply back to the letter saying, yes, I'd love to come. Here's my check. And I had 20 people send me a check for $5,000. I had never made that kind of money in my life before, but it was so easy. Writing the letter was easy. Doing the training was easy because I had done the work that was now valuable. And I wasn't trying to pump them up. It was basically like, look, this is what I did. This is how to do it, et cetera, et cetera. And I made $100,000 in a weekend. And it was effortless, man. It was so easy, and it was fun, and it was focused. I mean, to write an 18-page letter and like really apply what I'd learned, and I trained and I read and I studied, and I wasn't just making it up. I actually applied things that I know worked. And that's why the next challenge we do, the experience challenge, is going to be so important. And it's going to be so powerful. Once you guys really see the difference between study and training, you'll have such an incredible advantage. But the whole thing, that $100,000 flowed in so quickly and so simply because I wasn't the resistant part of the process anymore. And that's what we've talked about today, how to just stop screwing yourself over financially.
And that's exactly it. And you said something very important, that it's just these little nuggets, man. And that's the thing, when listen for these things, because they're it's these like little nuggets. If you walk along the path, it's not like you don't walk into a fucking gold mountain. It's like, oh, a little nugget, and you start packing in those nuggets. Pretty soon you have a gold mountain in your pocket of wisdom, of knowledge, of experience, of data. But you said something so profound that it was easy, it was fun. It was fun. Why? Because it's what you said in the training. It's about like if you like have this icky, shitty, like, fuck, man, I don't want to go do this and have all that going on in there. It's never gonna be fun, and you're gonna have it's gonna be grinding, gritty, shitty the whole time, trying to get yourself to do anything. When you have that feeling of freedom, of excitement, of anticipation, your ambitions start to grow and everything else, and then it's like, whoa, it's an adventure, and it becomes fun. And who the fuck is not gonna go do something that's fun?
Right.
Everybody's going to. If it's like, oh, that sounds like a shitty experience, let's go to the park and have a picnic and we'll eat shit sandwiches. No thanks. Let's go to the park and have a picnic and have like a nice pizza and some whatever. Yeah, that sounds cool. You know what I mean? It's just so simple like that. And the way to do that is just to basically get rid of all these blocks, man. And it's everything you just said. Just do what Jesse said, and these blocks will go away. Because here's another thing. You create the blocks. So if you create the blocks, if you stack some Legos and make a cool Lego house, can't you unstack them? Of course you can, because you're the power. So but you make it fun, man. When it's fun, it is easy.
Yep.
It really is. It's not only easy, it's desired.
That's the path. And that's the path. I mean, if you're not having fun, you're not in flow. When you're having fun, you're in flow. It's that simple. So we're gonna have a lot of fun watching the results of this challenge. People talking about their money magnet. People talking about the Burn Baby Burn experience, and it looks like we've got some Nick. It looks like we've got some interest in doing a part 2. So I will roll out a video in the definitely before the end of the challenge. I don't know when, but we'll circle up. Anyway, dude, so much love for you, man.
Back at you. So I'll see you like in 2-3 days anyway in LA, right?
Yeah, I'll see you in LA. And then
awesome.
For everybody else, do your challenges. Do the challenge. Don't think about it. Just do it. Let us know in the group. The posts are open. Open it up. And again, man, there's a lot of people in the world that are going to say, yeah, but you have to suffer. Great, knock yourself out, dude. You go suffer over with the struggle bunnies, and we're over here going to be having fun and loving life.
Struggle.
And guess what?
Struggle bunnies.
And money doesn't care. Money goes to people
Nope.
that suffer, and money goes to people that have fun. So you know what? You might as well have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got some stuff that'll help get some clarity around some of this stuff too. So I'll pop in the group and do
Yep.
some videos later today, tomorrow, and I think it'll give. Well, I know it will, because it's in the past to give some clarity and help
Yep.
get some focus and help keep that energy focused on that. Because
Yep.
in my language, highest energy wins. What
Yep.
do we focus on? What do we want?
100%.
And that's what we're gonna go get.
And maybe
So,
what we can
cool.
do, I know this is not totally a place for it, but maybe on Sunday when we do the sermon in Legacy, we can make it a little bit more focus on money too, just to keep everybody on the same page.
Yeah, totally. We'll yep. Highest energy wins. We'll keep our focus on that.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Challengers, go do thy work.
Yeah.
All right. Then Velvet Hammer and Reverend J out.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Have a good day. Bye.